Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the blackbraziltoday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. So, for people who follow what happens in the Brazilian media, you know that a new season of Big Brother Brazil just jumped off like last week. And, didn't take long before the headlines started, the debates started coming up, uh, viewers being just kind of offended by some of the things that's being said. This is, and I've always said this. I'm not a big follower of reality TV, and Big Brother Brazil on Brazil's top television network, Rede Global or Global Broadcasting Network, it's in its 24th season. And if I've always said, if you want to get an idea of, how Brazilians are, how the situation is with race, the society, social norms, standards, beliefs, you could just check out a couple of episodes of Big Brother Brazil and you'll be set. You know, I don't particularly sit and just watch the show, but because of social media these days and how important social networks are and reality shows, people are going to be talking about this. Whatever goes on Big Brother Brazil, you can just see people all across the country are going to be dropping mad comments on what did you see when such and such said this or did this. There's always going to be a hot topic. So this season has only been going for about a week and already the fireworks have started. So today's video, where are the blonde white people? Former Big Brother Brazil participants complain that new season lacks the quote unquote standard people. Now, considering how Brazil puts a premium on whiteness in the country, what do standard people look like and where are they from? I give you a couple of guesses. It shouldn't be hard to. It's not something that's difficult to know if you watched more than a couple of videos on this channel or gone to the Black Brazil Today blog. But okay, let's get directly into this video for the night. So, where are the blonde white people? Former Big Brother Brazil participants complained that the new season lacks the standard people. Okay, so to understand why that's a controversial statement, we have to understand what's considered the standard in Brazil. The standard in Brazil has always been people who are closer to the European standard, the European phenotype. And as I've said, in the time that I've spent in Brazil over the years, I've noted that, Black Brazilians are getting more representation wherever you look, whether it's on television or, you know, uh, certain job titles, positions. This it's been a vast improvement, I have to say, even though they're still vastly underrepresented in so many areas of society. But this is kind of obvious, white Brazilians, for the most part, believe they're supposed to be the standard for everything. And when they see Black people moving into areas that were previously almost completely white, that's when they have a problem. So the situation that, the issue here is that two of these former contestants on previous Big Brother Brazil editions, both white women, complaining about, look at the contestants on this year's episode or this season's episode. You know, where are the standard looking people? Where are the standard people? So if a person does not have white skin, particularly if they don't have blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're not from a middle or upper class background, people are looking like, why you have these people on the program? Um, like as I've just said, Big Brother Brazil has always had issues dealing with the racial issue. And this is the only reason I really even pay attention to what people are talking about on the program. Um, I mean, just you could just punch in Racismo Big Brother Brazil, and you'll just see a plethora of articles. With something happening on whatever particular episode of Big Brother Brazil. This was a group picture from last year's edition where one of the participants got all of the Black contestants on the program together for a group photo. And a historian said it's a fear of Black people, talking about the racism on Big Brother Brazil 23. Okay. Um, Here's a piece. I think this is an academic article. It says whiteness and anti-Black racism on Big Brother Brazil 21. So, the way Black participants are treated on the program, this has been going on for years. It's always been whispers and, offenses that have been uttered on the show. And it's not just a few. This issue with racism on Big Brother Brazil goes back a long ways. It's what racism was already, an issue on other editions of the program. Let's remember them. So this does not hardly cover all of the incidents where race played a factor in here, but they're just remember some of the episodes of racism that happened here. Racism on Big Brother 22. All right. There's these two white women that were on the program who were making the sounds of a monkey in the direction of Natalia, which was a black woman on the show. Let me see here. Big Brother Brazil 22 participants, Douglas Silva and Natalia, were victims of racist attacks on social networks during the program, and even threats, and various threats, whether it says. Racism on Big Brother 21. One particular episode where one of the participants referred to the afro of one of the black participants as, it looks like you have hair of a caveman. I was kind of iffy on that one, but, a lot of people were offended by that comment. Then you have Big Brother Brazil episode 20, where the popular actor Babu Santana, he had some issues there. People were making fun of, they were saying that he was a monster and they were afraid of him. They were making fun of the pick that he used to comb his hair, like, oh, Genchi, people, what is that? Why is he using it? He uses that to comb his hair. So you could go back I'm not going, how would I say decades? It's been a couple of decades, but you could go back to several previous episodes and you'll just find all of these type of problems that are directly linked to race, on Big Brother Brazil, which is why generally that's the reason why I tune in and why I like to see what people are talking about. So, the irony of this whole thing is that these two white women are complaining about where are the standard people looking at the contestants on this particular edition's participants. Where are the standard people? It's ironic because black representation on Big Brother Brazil has always been a question. For years it was like, how come there was like only a few black people on the program? In the history, this is the 24th season. In 23 seasons, there's only been 4 winners. And a couple of those people don't even really consider black. It just depends on how you look at it. Again, once this question of, this question of what is black and what is not in Brazil. So the very irony of somebody pointing this out, every time there's a new edition of Big Brother Brazil coming out, you're going to have the internet talking about the black representation on the program. Let me see if I can find. Okay, so like here, for example, only 4 persons ever won on Big Brother Brazil in all of the history of the reality show. The last one was this young lady here, Thelma Assis. She was the 4th winner on Big Brother Brazil. And if you just look at the numbers here, right here, it says it was only in the 23rd season that the participants on the program reached, 50% of the participants on the program. Now, for people who buy that, Brazil is supposed to be at least half black, then I would say up until now, you haven't had a sufficient number of black Brazilians on the program. Now, that goes into a problem because it's always a question of how many black people do you actually have in Brazil? It's hard to say, but it's always been, there's a fear, or just there's an idea that if there's so many black people on the program, people aren't going to watch. This was one of the first quote unquote black winners. This is Jean Willis. He was the only black man and only gay person to win on Big Brother Brazil. Now, some people question if you should consider him black or not. Some years ago, there was a question of, is there going to be a clearly black man to win on this program? The 4 winners that we've seen up until this point is the aforementioned Jean Willis, Maraviana, Gleice Damasceno, and the aforementioned Thelma Assis. So this is it's kind of wild that somebody would question where are the standard people on Big Brother Brazil when this is black Brazilians are routinely like minorities on this program. Let me see what else I want to get into. Okay, so another reason why this is a big deal is because no matter what genre, what area you look at in Brazilian society, you find underrepresentation of the black population. Now, some would argue that's due directly to racism. Others would argue, well, black people don't have the education that will put them in these positions. And sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not the case. You take a look at this first article. Brazil's advertising industry continues to value whiteness. For years, I talked about how you could go to, newsstands that sell newspapers and magazines, and you'll see no black faces on these magazine covers. That's changed. I will admit that has changed in recent years. Like I said, there's been a push for more quote unquote diversity. Racism in the job market of Brazil, the preference for whiteness continues. They can't flat out, prohibit. Well, they have flat out prohibited racism in the job market, but they find other ways to discriminate against people who they don't feel like has the standard look. Again, and look at this article, deconstructing the ideal standard of whiteness. This is something that people deal with all the time. This has been a complaint of the Black population in Brazil for a number of decades now. So with that context, let's get into the video for today. So the info I took for today's article comes courtesy of Revista Forum, Terra Brasil, Notícias, and UOL Splash websites, okay? So in 2 days, Global's reality show has already had alerts of racism. For 24 years on the air, Big Brother Brazil has struggled to innovate its format, and it is undeniable that it still stirs up popular discussions about human behavior, for better or for worse. The new season of Global's reality TV show premiered last Monday, the 8th, and has already become a hot topic on social media, with cases of racist terms being used, accusations of ableism, and even, believe it or not, prejudice against white and blonde people. Okay, so the lady that's really at the center of today's video is this woman in this picture, Bárbara Hecki, you would call her. Okay, right from the start, Big Brother Brazil's 24th season dynamic was the Puxadinho, which featured candidates entering the program's house, depending on the choice of the participants already in the house. For those who know the reality show, it was almost like a glass house, but chosen by the brothers and sisters, as they're called on BBB, who opted to a greater extent for people outside the standard color, weight, and sexual orientation. Only 2 white women with dark hair were approved inside the house. As a result, white, straight, and blonde candidates were, for the most part, left out. These decisions outraged 2 former contestants, Bárbara Hecki in the picture of Big Brother Brazil 22 a couple seasons ago, and Natalia Casasola of Big Brother Brazil 8 and Big Brother Brazil 13. She participated in 2 different episodes, 2 different seasons. This is Natalia Casasola, I should say. The former even posted on Twitter that, say you're from the slum, say you're from the favela slum, you've already won, is what she said. The hatred people have for standards, people, geez. After the negative repercussions, she denied being prejudiced against people from the favela and then deleted all her posts. So she's saying that, according to what she sees with the people appearing on the 24th edition of Big Brother Brazil, these people can just say, oh, I'm from the favela, I'm from the slum, and that is going to be enough for them to win. And what's the history of that? We just saw the idea. We just saw the numbers that just said that in the first 23 seasons of this reality show, there's only been 4 people who are black to win this. So where's she coming from that? You can understand why the repercussions of this comment went viral, because people were just outraged. Like, really? It's just the point that whether black people are flying on an airplane or black people have a luxury car, they live in a middle-class neighborhood, as these areas or the things that you own are generally people generally expect white people to have these things. When black people pop up, it's looking like they're like, what are you doing here? There was a lady who was heard on an airplane saying, wow, it used to only be chic people that used to fly planes. Now everybody can just fly. So let's be real. The white population of Brazil, they do feel like they have a certain privilege, which they certainly do, in terms of the phenotype that people prefer, the phenotype that is preferred in the media. Okay, let's keep this moving. So this is just like a collage of all of the participants in the 24th edition of Big Brother Brazil. Natalia, on the other hand, the other lady, recorded angry videos saying that the dynamic caused the same thing to happen as what she experienced in the Big Brother Brazil one of the previous editions that she was on, when she wasn't chosen to enter the House by popular vote, being passed over for a Black woman named Solange Cristina Coto Maria. This is her right here. I always remember this young lady because she did this. She did her own version of the "We Are the World" song, and it just went viral because, when you're speaking another language that's not your native tongue, you're going to sound weird. Just like, for some people, I'm going to sound strange talking Portuguese. But the way she sung that "We Are the World" song, it went viral because of how she pronounced how she was trying to sing the song. Anyway, are you following this dynamic? It's just like the 2004 edition I took part in. The prejudice in this dynamic was clear. I thought it was horrible, said the blonde. The two reactions became a meme being derided as reports of padrãophobia or standard phobia. So you hearing these comments from both of these women, they felt like they were being discriminated against. Well, the second one felt like she was discriminated against, but the first one is like tripping because, like, why are all of these non-standard, quote unquote, standard people doing on this year's episode or this year's edition, this season? And like I said, this is something that Black Brazilians have been dealing with all the time. Like, okay, so now that the shoe's on the other foot, now you got a problem with it. All the time that Black people have been complaining about the lack of representation, and it was just, oh, you're whining. That's me, right? Previously, the same lady, Barbara Hecky, her comment provoked controversy on Big Brother Brasil. So she's from the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul, which is, I always say, the three states in southern Brazil are considered the European section of Brazil because like 80% of the population of those three states consider themselves white. But she participated in Big Brother Brazil 2022 and was classified as problematic for the comments that she made by people on the internet. While talking to one participant about another, this actor here, Douglas Silva, the model almost let slip the racist phrase "samba do crioulo doido," which means, the crazy N-words samba, samba being Brazil's most popular music. And she says he did that "samba do crioulo doido." And she actually cut off the word doido. She was like, "samba do crioulo doido." And she caught herself because she knew what she was about to say. She stopped herself and she continued. She said, "Oh, how ugly. I was going to say a very old and horrible expression." No, not just horrible. People consider it a racist expression. A few seconds later, Heck returned to the subject. "Did you see what I almost said?" she asked the other participant, who, laughing, replied, "I saw what you were going to say." So she says, "God forgive me. It was going to be terrible, but I almost said it. It was a force of habit," said Barbara. Okay. This is just a steal from a Twitter post where people were talking about, wow, Barbara saying about Douglas Silva that he did a Samba do Crioulo Doido. So let's talk a little bit about that. What does that mean? Samba do Crioulo Doido is the title of a song composed by Sergio Porto as a satire on the teaching of Brazilian history in schools during the period of the military dictatorship, and refers to confusing and messy situations, which reaffirms a stereotype as well as discriminating against and inferiorizing the Black population. So you have this phrase here that means a messy or, confusing situation. They call it the Samba do Crioulo Doido, which is just like, the N words, the crazy N words samba, how you could translate that. There's so many different popular phrases in Brazil that are, clearly racist. They say in Brazil, they say when the Black person doesn't make a mess when they go in, they make a mess when they go out. Everybody knows these phrases, which is why she caught herself before she said the same, the full phrase. Keeping on, let's keep it moving. Besides Barbara using the racist expression, she also gave a very common justification, which is the reflection of a prejudiced society, that of a force of habit. So what she's saying, I think we all say these types of things. So in some ways, I can see that maybe she didn't mean it in a certain way, but it's embedded in the society. Everybody knows this type of phrase. So whether she meant it that way or not, it's a reflection of how Brazilian society looks at Black people. Okay. So in the middle here, okay, so these are the two women who we're talking about today. And in the middle is Lumena. Lumena is she gained notoriety because she was in Big Brother 21 or 22. It was another one of those that had, this high percentage of Black participants on the program. She went on to cause controversy because she created a profile on an adult content website. I think she was earning a lot of money on that website. But anyway, what did she say? Former Big Brother Brazil participant Lumena claps back. Lumena. Lumena of Big Brother Brazil 21 has reacted to comments made by ex-Big Brother Brazil participants Barbara Hickey and Natinalia Casasola about the choices of participants in Puxadinho. They both expressed annoyance at the fact that the standard contestants had been dismissed. Then, after receiving criticism, they call her a gaúcho. Gaúcho is a person who's a native of the state of Rio Grande do Sul. The gaúcho wrote back, "Man, I don't think you understand. I used his words. I said that with this argument, he would be chosen, and he was. It's not prejudice against people from the favela, for God's sakes." With the negative repercussions, she deleted all her posts. That's social networks is going to make you own up to what you say. However she meant it, it just the way that it sounded like, well, why are you picking all of those types of people? Why does everybody hate the standard now? And it's not that people hate the standard. It's Black Brazilians are just saying we want our piece. We deserve recognition. We deserve our place in the sun as well. That's what the argument has been for decades now. Nachinalia or Nachi Casasola, for her part, also shared a video on Twitter stating that what happened in the house was an episode of prejudice and reinforced the fact that there are few participants considered standard this season. So she's saying now, obviously, she didn't notice that the word white is not being used here. It's not, but everybody knows what she's saying. The Big Brother Brazil brand for several seasons, the dominant look was the European standard. And now that you see that the European standard is not dominant on the show, now it's a complaint. Whereas all the years that Black people have complained about their exclusion or vast underrepresentation, people they dismiss that. So this is Lumena. Lumena, very famous meme was made out of this picture. She was, on a particular Big Brother Brazil she participated in, and she got into a little something with one of the participants, and she was seen pointing her finger at her like that. It just went viral. People were making all types of memes with this particular picture. And the reason why I posted this, listen to this. Lumena shared her dissatisfaction with the comments. "I'm not going to stick my finger in your face, but it's worth reflecting. What does Nachi Casasola and Barbara's speech point out to us? Not seeing yourself represented causes revolt, right? Are you feeling the discomfort there?" she said, clearly finding irony in this situation. So this is the same thing that Lumena is saying. You guys are complaining about not feeling represented by the way that you look. But all the years that Black Brazilians have complained about that, you chalked it up as me, which means like whining, in Portuguese, right? So I picked this picture because she says, "I'm not going to point my finger in your face." I don't know if she did that on purpose, but this harks back to this famous picture of her from a couple seasons ago that became a viral meme back in the day. So anyway, curious to know what you all thought about this. Is once again, you look at Big Brother Brazil and you're going to see all of the issues that you have in Brazilian society, and this is what's going to come out. So I just wanted to focus on this today because, again, as I say, the blog and the YouTube channel, they're focused on, the concept of race, and viewing Brazil from a perspective of race. So curious to know what you all thought about this particular episode. Drop a comment in the comment section. Like this video, share this video. Consider subscribing to this channel. Click on the notification bell so you'll get my videos as I put them up. Consider dropping a couple dollars in the Cash App, or maybe give if you like this video, we always welcome super thanks. Every little dollar helps, and every dollar will be appreciated most definitely. With that said, I'm going to end this particular episode of Black Brazil today, and I'm going to request that you all come back and check out the next video that I post.